this something very important for you to know. If you are an athlete, off-season training is necessary for an athlete's sprinter professional for speed and power development. Top sprinter cannot especially focus on explosive training and other workouts unless they first focus on off-season training in areas where preparation happens. The intensity of the workout is very high, which means that the body has to run at 80 to 95% of its power repeatedly with each repetition. To do this, the capacity for workout with a high volume is increased, but with low intensity, meaning less power and less rest. An athlete's main focus during this season is to improve technique and skill for specific events. To do it directly without this, they may not only fail to improve performance but could also risk injury. With the intensity given each workout, they wouldn't be able to complete it. Have you ever forced so intensity on something that you completely lost track of time and felt fully immersed, as if your entire session ended so quickly, yet with the perfect timing and you still had energy left? Even at night, this is the flow state, and it's not just a mental condition, it's a game changing for athletes. In this state, you're highly concentrated and fully in control, and not self conscious, operating on an entirely different level. During this time, your work may be challenging, but it's also enjoyable, and sometimes you perform so well that even you can believe. According to Mihaly, the founder of flow state concept, training must be challenging enough to dynamic, demand focus, but not so difficult it's overwhelms you, not too easy that it becomes boring, as so in the diagram on the screen. If a workout is too complex, athlete can feel anxious, and if too easy, they can get bored and fall into a bottom state. By balancing these two aspects, an athlete can enter the flow state. Have you ever experienced the flow state during training or competition? Let us know in the comment. Every athlete wants to know which exercise can increase speed, so they try every exercise recommended on social media. But the best answer to this question can only come from those whose own students excel in the sport. If a coach athlete becomes world champion, break a world record, most people would call that athlete talent. However, if some coaches produce 4 to 5 world champions and record holders, then particularly speaking, the create biology more to the coach than the athletes. Stephen Francis is one of the Jamaica top coaches who has transformed athletes like Asafa Power and other to superhuman level. He believed that major exercise in training must relate directly to sprinting. That's why he makes all his athletes focus intensity on a single leg exercise. During sprinting, only the leg in contact with the ground need to produce maximum force to increase speed. But to maintain speed, this force must be applied for only a few seconds. Repeating this single leg exercise mimics the entire sprinting action, transferring the developing power into increased speed. The exercise given in the comment section. If you think your sports partner does every exercise but doesn't pay enough attention to this critical one. 90% athletes face challenge in this aspect of the start. In the fastest 10 to 50 meters, a lot of power is produced, which puts the entire lower body on the foot to apply horizontal force on the ground. Often have their entire foot touch the ground, leading to power leakage. This means that even if athlete is apply 100% power, only 98% is being used due to this imbalance. Such power leakages are not just one but many, and focusing on them is everything in sprinting. Even China's fastest man, top fastest player, had to face this problem, which they resolved with help of their coach during the start. Why is speed not coming running? How to get speed? To answer this, there are some most important thing you need to know. So listen carefully. Speed is not added to the body. It is already in everyone's body. You just need to know how to bring it out. What you have in your body cannot be forced out. It will come with practice. If you think you will work hard and break your body to get speed, it's what happened. You're forcing it. And this myth bring endurance but not speed. What is speed? To make something faster in the body, you need to know how to make the body move very fast. Muscles in the body can only operate at fully capacity when there is no stress on them and they are relaxed. You can only make your body move at fully speed for a few seconds. After that, the muscles get fatigued. This means that bring speed. You have to do speed exercise and workouts, but only for a few seconds at a time after proper rest. For example, if you have to do only 3 push-ups as fast as possible, then take a rest of 1 or 2 minutes before doing it again. Remember, the rest has be good, but those there push-ups should be done at 100% speed. Do this 1 or 2 more time and you will see a difference in your body. For a while, it will feel like you have gained a lot of speed. Ground contact time is a simple yet effective solution to increase athlete sprinting speed. The less time a sprinter foot stay on the ground, the better it is for them. According to specific studies, very few elite sprinters speed more than 0.08 seconds on each step. Slower sprinters tend to spend more time on the ground. Well, flight time, the time you are airborne between each step, is gradually the same for both beginners and world-class sprinters. This all boils down to how much power you can apply to the ground in the shortest ground contact time. The main reason an athlete stride length and frequency distance is that they fail to apply enough power to the ground while spending too much time in contact. No one can trustly estimate the power generation during a jet engine takeoff or the force produced by a sprinter until they know the accurate figures. To learn how to apply such force, elite professional sprinter can generate 3 to 5 times more force their body weight. Not just one, but repeatedly with their feet. The perfect example of this is none other than Usain Bolt himself. In the 2009 World Championship, Usain Bolt generated highest force in the 100-meter final, around 490 kg on every single step, setting a new 100-meter world record of 9.58 seconds. Physiology and biometrics start that who will come out on top is determined by who can create the most force on the ground. The question arises, how can you generate so much force and run like these athletes? First, you need to learn how to apply force. The basic example of a sprinter, such as ABC drills, are crucial for mastering this. When you can apply force correctly, you also need to learn how to increase it. There are many methods, but primarily explosive strength training techniques can significant improvement it. And yes, most important, the harder you attack the ground with your legs, the better result, as everything resolves around this. If such a basic thing can improve your training pattern performance. Before breaking the world record like Usain Bolt, one thing you will notice at the 2080 Olympic is the Bolt taking his time. He doesn't rush and he doesn't start off by running fast. In the beginning, he positions himself normally, which he has done multiple times in the video, but Bolt takes position 10 times. For this, we can learn that even Bolt at the world championship level follows a very detailed warm-up process to maximize his foot position. He stays completely relaxed for his warm-up all the way to the final race. And one very important thing, he gradually increased his speed in each stride so that he could reach his top speed. All sprinters experience a decelerate at the end of their race, whether they are at an elite level or a beginner level. However, at an elite level, it may be hard to improve this, but at an intermediate and beginner level, technique like top speed maintenance and relaxation can easily be improved. Today we will talk about relaxation. Every elite level sprinter knows that their speed from workout to competition comes from focus on relaxation, directly or indirectly. This is a benefit that was seen at a hyper competitive level with Marshall, who became the 100-meter champion at the Tokyo Olympic, while everyone else was slowing down and becoming tense at the end of the race. Marshall Jacob was the only one who remained relaxed from start to finish, which allowed him to increase his speed during the last 85 meters, while others were slowing down. You need to that the harder you try, the slower you become. Many sprinters fail to relax because they don't think they can generate enough force. Touch relax. Focus to relax to the run faster and try to apply more force than their body can handle, and athletes falls into the wrong mindset. They think they will be able to create a more force, but in reality the net force decreases, which helps in running faster. Why is your performance not improving despite all the hard work? And why does the hard work of many Olympic champions show result after a whole year, but your efforts seem to yield nothing? There can be many factors, but one major factor is periodization, which means dividing a whole training year into different parts and training according to it with load and rest. This is a huge topic, but today we will only discuss one major thing: block training periodization, which is followed by many world champions. According to this, a training season is made up of 3 to 4 weeks with a 2.1 and 3.1 ratio. This means 2 weeks of very intense training followed by 1 week of active rest, of 3 weeks of intense training followed by 1 week of active rest. This way the training load for 2 or 3 weeks is followed by active rest the next week, allowing the body to recover. As a result, the chances of seeing results at the end of a training season increasing significantly. This kind of training happens throughout the year, but it's mainly followed mid-season. The main reason for long-term result is not to push. Well, sprinting, how fast and powerfully your muscle respond depend a lot on your diet. And I'm not talking about protein here. Many athletes, even after years of practice, don't know about this, which can significantly improve performance. Well, sprinting, the brain sends signal to the muscles to contact very quickly and powerfully. These signals travel with the help of neurons. Don't get intimidated by the terminology. You'll understand everything. Now, can this signal travel even fast, allowing us to run faster? Yes, neurons have a protective layer that the liver produces, which can you also a fatty layer. This is called the myelin sheath, which helps speed up signal transmission. The efficiency of the myelin sheath is greatly affected by what we eat. The myelin sheath is made up of a particular fat called lipids, which depending on your intake can either slow down or speed up your sprinting. Try consuming this specific food and notice the difference. Indirectly speaking, certain specific type of food in your diet can help signals travel faster from the brain to the muscles, enabling you to run faster. These food and supplement are especially mentioned in our training program. Many athletes think that eating a bit of junk food won't make them fat. Every elite efficiently use this secret method in winter. Let me practically show you what is it and how it works. First, make a fist and squeeze as hand as you can with a DAV force. You'll notice two types of tension in your body. First, obviously, your grip and your emotional tension. But then there also a psychological tension in your mind when you carry the idea squeezing harder and harder. But in reality, this mental mental tension shouldn't be there, and I'll prove to you that it's actually making you weaker. Once again, make a fist. Squeeze as harder as you can, but this time trying to keep your mind relaxing while gripping. You'll notice your grip is much tighter than before, and this is the key. Keeping the mind relaxed during intense movements. Not only will you be able to apply focus for longer, but your focus will also increase significantly.